it also faces a lot of challenges. The most common challenges what we both male and female physiotherapists are facing nowadays are professional dominance of other healthcare professionals. We know this better. We know this better. Anyone want explanation for this? Everyone experienced this, right? Right? Yes. Can anyone give some instance for this? Can anyone? Right. I have seen few cases in which an orthopedician or some doctor is mentioning what all the exercises a physio has to train for his patient. Why the other profession is deciding what we have to do? Why? Because they feel that we are not up to the mark to treat their patients. Right? Do they feel the same? Right? That is what is called professional dominance of other healthcare professionals. And this comes to our prospect, lack of documentation and electronic health record maintenance. This happens in informal environments such as when we are treating a patient at his home. That is informal environment. We can maintain some health records. We can maintain certain records in our clinic, but it may not be possible in a house visit, right? Then, cultural issues in practice. Long back I heard a thing, people used to say, current pedte nallaga ayipotaru. So we don't want to be treated with your EMS. I heard this. When I really wanted to treat a baby with brachial palsy, someone started saying this. Then I explained them. This baby has to be treated with this particular treatment so that we can restore some muscle power in that particular patient. We must be in a position to change the mindset. We must be in a position to change the mindset of that particular patient or patient attendants, or even we should not take a back step to convince a doctor regarding any treatment which could be useful to our patients. We can change these cultural issues by creating awareness. Right? Right? Yes. Do you feel that our society has proper awareness regarding physiotherapy? No. Is that so? People are really aware of what physiotherapy can do? When compared to the days when we were freshers, it's around 10 years back, and compared to 10 years, it has been, the awareness has been increased in people. Yet, we have to create more awareness. Malpractice like some quacks. We know this better. We have been experiencing this. Right? Right? We have seen many. They combine everything in their treatment pattern. Some massages, some physiotherapy treatments, yoga, everything for 100 rupees. Chalo, we don't have any qualification, but we'll treat a paralytic patient. Is that possible? Is that possible? Is that possible?
No.
A bit louder, please.
No.
Am I boring?
No.
Thank you. Yeah, this is true. Malpractice by some quacks is really hindering our profession. It is really throwing some black mark on our profession. Next slide. See, career success, apart from all these challenges which we physiotherapists as a whole both the genders we are facing. Apart from this, we women, as a part of society, as a part of family, we are facing lot more challenges, such as family responsibilities. We have to maintain family responsibilities. See, women entrepreneurship is not an escape from family responsibilities. Right? Right? We have to handle both. Yes, ma'am, as you did. Yes, that's true. Women entrepreneurship or women in employment or women in profession is not an escape from family responsibilities. Our career success depends on how we balance both our career, our employment opportunities and our family. Traditional socialization says that family needs are more than professional needs. Yes, to some extent. Many women, they discontinued their career in the middle to meet their family needs. It shouldn't be the case because our family needs are support. At the same time, we should be self-sustained, right? We should have a career of our own. Am I correct? Why should we have a career of our own? End of the day, husband is earning, we are getting lots and lots of money, we can enjoy, but still we should have a career. Why? Can anyone say? Yes, ma'am. Yes. We women, we work with compassion. We women, we work with dedication. We women, we take care of every minute things. We can be something different from regular male practitioners. We can treat our patients as our kids, as our loved ones. We can treat them with compassion. That doesn't mean that we are breaching our emotional limits. That doesn't mean that. But treating a patient in a proper way really creates a great change in their emotional aspect and also their rehabilitation process is progressing better because we treat them with compassion. See, compassion is nothing but listen to the psychological aspect. Listening to the psychological aspect of a patient really has a positive impact in their treatment. That we women, we can do that. And women, because of different influences in the family, they started developing so very low self-esteem levels. Because in our traditional families, we'll be listening something like women. You should listen to someone else. You should not have your ideas of your own. You should follow someone. So this causes lowered self-esteem. Isn't it true? Yes. Isn't it true? Yes. This still exists in some kind of urban families. Some people, they simply say that, they just say that, after completing this physiotherapy, simply I'll get married, I'll listen to whatever my husband says, I'll get the money, I'll just enjoy that. That's not the thing. It's not the thing. You can do a lot. First of all, as Nidhi ma'am said, we should set the goal, what we have to do. What is our ambition in life? Just simply getting married, having 2 kids, end of the day, getting older, watching some movie, watching some TV serial, bus, they move on, and then games. This is not the thing. Right? Right? What should we do then? Different aspects are associated in our career success. Family, responsibilities, part-time or full-time availability to our patients, and flexibility. responsibility in career. These things really play a vital role, and these has become the primary gender difference issues. Men are full-time workers, but still that they are achieving good success in their career because they are career oriented. We can do this. We can do this. As Nidhi ma'am said, women can be a multitasker. Right? Are we multitaskers?
Yes.
I think everyone is hungry. Really? We can have lunch after my presentation, I think. Right? We can have. See, we are not deviating from the topic. We are really facing certain situations, and these situations should be assessed properly. Women, after their marriage, they are really having their child and they are away from this profession for few days. After that, if the women really want to get back to their positions, get back to their profession, they are undergoing a series of mental torture for the first few days, few months. You know why? You know why? Family responsibilities. Others who insist on them to take care of the family more of a professional thing. Of course, the kid, after 4 years, the kid goes to the school, husband goes to his office, and your mother-in-law will be busy cooking or watching some TV serial. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? Simply sitting, washing vegetables, watching some TV serial in which a lady woman tortures another lady. Is that true? Is that true? See, I never watch any TV serials actually. When I was supposed to watch a TV serial, on the first day, I saw the glass was broken. One lady comes in, sees that. Then mother-in-law comes. Then sister-in-law comes. The next day, their maid comes. Everyone starts watching that broken glass. By the end of the week, the serial ends without anyone cleaning that glass. Really, I mean it. So, such a boring serials. Are we interested to watch this, keeping our career aside? No, not actually, right? We can do something. We can do something. What is that something? When you are away from career for few days, when you are away from your career, what happens actually is the same, a male and a female physiotherapist with the same capabilities, with the same competence, a male is proceeding towards a different level in career, but females, they are lagging behind because they are away from the career for few days. This lagging is really causing a lowered self-esteem, lowered self-respect. Okay, fine, he is far away from us, he is far before us, we can't reach him, we can't do anything. This sort of low self-esteem, we people, we are developing. This is not correct. See, there is a saying that when a change comes within you, it develops you. When a change comes outside, it breaks you. Right? What happens when an egg is broken? What happens when an egg is broken? Broken. Right? It's broken.
Like.
Am I correct? What happens when an egg is broken from inside? A chick comes out of that. Right? Something productive. Right? That is what I mean to say. When you want to change something, first change yourself. Develop self-esteem in yourself. Believe in yourself. We women, we have we must and should have a belief in us. We can do anything. We can change everything. Right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Am I correct? Lady over there? You? Am I correct? Did you hear me? You, lady? It's okay, fine. So, these are the different things. Before slide. What is self-esteem? Can you people please repeat this for me? Because I've been talking to you since 10 minutes. Please, this is my topic. Can anyone repeat this? Ma'am. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Self-esteem is an individual's feeling of self-regard and self-value. High self-esteem have been associated with greater job satisfaction, lower work stress, and higher feelings of competency. When you love your job, when you have passion for your job, you can do miracles. You know, I used to work from morning 6:30 till 9 o'clock in the night. I used to work, because I had that passion. I never felt stressful. I just wanted to do something. I just wanted to be something. I just want to stand alone in a group. That was my goal for which I started working. Right? Right? Career choices also depends a lot on self-esteem. If you have higher self-esteem, you can risk. You can pave a different path. Right? Same old physiotherapy, for pain relief, you are going to give TENS, you are going to give SWD, something. The same old things are doing. What is the difference between you and the other person? What is the difference between two clinics? As Nidhiman said, he is charging 100 rupees and I am charging 500 rupees. What is the difference between him and me? You have to try different modalities. You have to convince the patient. Every patient is unique. You must and should have to remember this. Every patient is unique. His needs are unique. The protocols we follow are unique. Everything is unique regarding a patient. The same treatments cannot be employed for every patient. It depends on their past, present medical history, what are all the psychological aspects of that particular patient, everything depends. Right? Am I clear?
Yes.
Do you people agree with me?
Yes.
Is that so that every patient is unique?
Yes.
Some people start nagging after you have treated them for about 30 days. They say 0 to 10 when you give the pain scale. They just say 1% improvement, not more than that. How would you feel? How would you feel? Really disappointing, right? See, you have treated the patient for about 30 days. And you do not feel any change. You do feel the change, but the patient is not feeling. That implies his psychological aspect is different. You need to treat him psychologically. You need to hear to him. You need to be empathetic. You need to be compassionate to that patient. Here is where the psychology is employed. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Clinical approach towards a patient should be physiological, therapeutic, and psychological. Right? Right? Right?
Yes.
Thank you. Hungry ladies, please a bit louder. If you shout more, you can eat more, I think. Right? Thank you. Hello? I did not conclude. You want me to conclude? Obviously. You really want to conclude? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. We women, we are a part of this society. We are a part of this rehabilitation team. Day to day, in our day-to-day life, we deal with a lot of patients of different age groups, different cultural backgrounds, different socio-economic statuses, right? We do meet a lot of patients. We must be in a position to meet all the needs of that particular patient to be treated. We have two different environments where we are treating the patients. That is, in-clinic setups and at-home setups. At-home setups are also called as informal setups because at-home setups we do visit, we do take the house visits, right? Where we are vulnerable to different kinds of things, right?
Yes.
Last year or last before year, we have seen a lady who has been harassed, who has been raped when she was attending for this house visit. See how vulnerable we are, right?
Yes.
We women physiotherapists, though all the laws are governed by males, we are protected. They feel that we are protected, but still a fellow physiotherapist who has been raped when she attended for this particular house visit is there. So we need to be cautious. We need to establish certain boundaries and appropriate report of that particular boundaries or breach should be always be there. And we should not feel shy for appropriate actions to be taken against that. Right? Today we are facing, the next day, our fellow physio will be facing. Why? Why should we bear this? Raise your voice against this. We women, we can raise our hands against all this. See, what we can do, we need to be competent enough in our subject to deal with the patients. This is more important. This is more important. We need to be confident enough to treat a particular patient to meet the needs of a particular doctor who is treating the patient's attendance and the patient, for which we need to continuously update our clinical knowledge. We need to continuously update that clinical knowledge by attending CMAs, workshops, right?
Yes.
The other day I have seen in one of the charts, attending a workshop is that useful. There was a conversation regarding this now. Yes.
Yes.
Attending a workshop is really useful. You keep yourself updated of the recent advances so that you can treat the patient. You can treat the patient more efficiently. See, a person who is lacking a knowledge in particular domain will be treating a patient for about 1 month. When you keep yourself updated of the particular treatment, you may be treating that person in 1 week. That could be your secret of success. Who knows? Who knows? Learning. Every person, as Nidhi ma'am said, yes, every person should always be open to learn everything day by day. Today after coming here, I have learned a lot from Nidhi ma'am, Hannah ma'am. Yes ma'am, I have learned a lot from you. And ma'am, sorry, I don't know your name, I'm so sorry ma'am. And you too ma'am. And Shagufta ma'am, I have really learned a lot. Always be open to learn things. We should always learn. See, there was a saying, you know Bharadwaja Maharshi, who has been employed to learn Vedas. He was learning Vedas for about years together, millions, trillions of years have gone. Then one day he went to Brahma and asked him, years and years are passing on. I could only read one part of this particular Vedas. There are three more. What should I do? What should I do? Then Brahma said, even I can't read that completely. How can you? Then Brahma gave him 4 heats of Veda and asked him to study that. Till date he is still reading. So, what is there? I know everything. When you feel I know everything, you're gone. You're nothing. You should always be open to learn everything. Even Bharadwaja Maharshi he is reading since years. Why can't we read for few more years? Why can't we keep ourselves updated for few more years? Am I correct?
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
We have to be open. We have to keep ourselves updated and we have to treat our patients efficiently. That is our goal. To reach that goal, we should do this. And it's a part and parcel of our medical education. Right? Next, careful maintenance of relations with other healthcare providers, patients and patient attendants. We should very carefully maintain the interpersonal relationships in in-house setup and informal environment because, the doctor will be, if the particular person has some pain or something, the doctor gives something else. And we are treating the patient with some modalities. See, without the sound knowledge from the doctor, what has been, if a patient is treated with screws and plates for a fracture, you just go and do some movement, we just go and give some electrotherapy modalities, something like that. It really injures a particular patient. Right? We should have clear knowledge and we should have clear interpersonal relationships with the patient, with the doctor who is treating him, and with the patient attendants. With everyone we should have good interpersonal relationships. And that should be in professional boundaries. You must and should have to underline this. Professional boundaries. The interpersonal relationships with anyone should be within professional boundaries. Right? Yes. Authority and responsibility. We should maintain professional boundaries with patients at all times. The therapeutic relationship between a patient and a therapist should always depend on different aspects like age, values, the physiological trauma and mental trauma which the patient has experienced. All these factors really they have a lot of impact on a patient treatment. So we should always maintain professional boundaries, and everyone here must and should have to report that when this professional boundary is breached, everyone should report this to the higher authorities so that the action is taken, and we should clearly maintain a record that this sort of professional boundary has been breached, this sort of action is taken against the inappropriate behavior, and what kind of action has been taken should be noted in the patient's record. This record is maintained to protect other fellow physios and our professional boundaries too. One thing we physiotherapists, we must and should remember is, we should not disclose ourselves in toto to anyone while we are treating anyone. No one needs our personal info unless they are interested in us. Why should they? Why should they know everything about you? You went there to treat the patient. Treating the patient is our goal, and to get treated is their goal. After that, the patient, who knows who is the patient and who is the therapist? We need not disclose everything, our personal issues to them. where they can take the advantage and the professional boundary is breached. This again impacts our self-esteem. We should not accept any gifts, we should not accept any personal favor, and we should not accept any kind of comments, any kinds of gestures, or any kind of words which are not related to our professional or parental care. You should be strict enough. You should be compassionate to the patient. At the same time, you should not cross your emotional or professional boundaries, physical, emotional or professional boundaries while treating a patient. Right? Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes.
What do you understand by this professional boundaries? Right. Restrictions for maintaining professional boundaries. This case, you should not be emotionally attached to a patient. We should never be attached to a patient emotionally. That really impairs our judgment to treat that particular patient. Definitely it impacts our judgment to treat that particular patient. As long as that patient is dependent on you, we should not have any intimate relationship in any sort with that particular patient. Next slide. Right? Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes.
If we really have some intimate relationship with a particular patient, we'll do whatever they want because we don't want them to be dissatisfied. Right? Yes. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This says the physiological needs like food, water, warmth and rest become first. Next, safety needs. Safety needs really comes under security, safety. Next comes the belongingness and love needs. Intimate relationships, friends. And these intimate relationships should never be with the patients. It should be within our family. It should be within our friends, because when you are self-sustained and when you are self-resilient and you are okay with your family members, you are mentally well, you can really focus on your career more. Then comes esteem needs. What are these self-esteem needs? They are prestige and feeling of accomplishment. When you treat 300 to 400 cases, how would be your confidence? Successfully you have treated 300 members in a year. What would be the level of confidence? What would be the level of confidence? What happened? Level of confidence gone? High? High? Just high? Don't you feel accomplished? Right? That is what is called self-satisfaction. It gives more self-satisfaction. Self-esteem levels are really raised. Okay? So these are psychological needs. If someone comes and asks you, where is your self-esteem? Show me. Can we show that? Can we really show that? It is really a psychological thing which boosts up our confidence, and it really boosts up our career success, right? Then, finally, self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. When this hierarchy, when this pyramid, right from the physiological needs, safety needs, belongingness, and esteem needs, all these needs are reached, then you will really get that topmost. The topmost one is self-actualization, self-fulfillment needs. I am something, I could do something. That confidence is more. I am something, I can do something. That's what I said. Every morning when you look into your mirror should always say what?
You're awesome.
Darling, you are awesome. Always. That really comes with this self-fulfillment. Right? Am I correct? Am I correct? Is my topic boring?
No.
Everyone hungry? Yes? Okay, fine. I'm going to conclude it. Coming to the conclusion. Really, we can do a lot. Conclusion. Really, I'm going to conclude this. Don't worry. I'm not going to kill your time. We women physiotherapists, as a part of rehabilitation team, faces more challenges than men in profession. Is that so? Yes. In society and to meet our family needs, we women are capable of multitasking. We can face these challenges, aren't we? Aren't we? Yes, we can face these challenges. Next. How we can face these challenges? Yes, we can face these challenges when we are self-resilient and self-sustained and self-motivated. When we are motivated to reach our goals, just keep some short-term goals. Short-term goals, when they are reached, you really get motivated. Then you can proceed to your long-term goals. Your long-term goals, which include treating a particular patient with compassion. It is really different thing. Treating 400 to 500 patients in a year is different. But treating 400 to 500 patients successfully really matters. Really matters, right? Last but not least, you can find inspiration from others. ఎవరైనా మిమ్మల్ని ఇన్స్పైర్ చేయొచ్చు, right? Lot of people to inspire us. But the change really comes when you are determined, when you are perfect in planning and your execution is good. Facing challenges without despair in society is our responsibility, is solely our responsibility. Getting inspired from everyone, anyone is easy. But a change really comes when we are determined and we are really on that. Because you are the person who is going to face that actual situation. Inspiring character has faced a different situation and you are facing a different situation. Get inspired from that character. But you need to have your own solution when you are really into a situation. Get prepared for this. And we women, we are really good enough to plan that. Thank you. I'm going to conclude this. Before concluding, I just want to ask a question. Just a simple question. Can anyone repeat what is self-esteem?